It's me again. It's the Don, the Senator Smooth and Rude, coming to you live from the 7-5 Y, cause we global, baby, yeah. This the Mansion in the Sky podcast where we build the lamb while we drive it. And that's why we strive to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential in every single aspect of our lives. Our focus here at the Mansion is to learn lessons from current events, either global and or local, and apply it while also staying in the mix about technology and health in a cold, calculated, and never so changing world. So, envious ones, welcome to the home of the anti-hero. Alright, so today's episode is gonna be what it's gonna be. We have 3 topics that we're gonna go into, but before we go into the topics, we have the isms and the word of the day. And the 3 topics for today. Boeing CEO laments deal with Trump for Air Force One planes. You know what he was doing? Bruh man was doing this over at Boeing. That's what they were doing over there. Alright, then next, after that, China urges restraint after Russia warns of World War III. And the last topic, technology. The British engineers creating robots that breed, or are creating robots that breed. So the isms. The ism for today is, do you have Trojan horses in your life? What's a Trojan horse? Back in ancient times, the Romans were in a conflict. And I done heard the story a million times, but I can't remember the finite details on who they were fighting against or whatever the case may be. But their opponent could not attack them because they were isolated. And the only way to be able to win this battle and ultimately, I believe, win the war was to subvert the enemy. So what do? They sent a gift as a Trojan horse. But little did the Romans know that inside of that gift, which was the Trojan horse, was filled with many soldiers ready to clap everybody in there, which happened. Now, how does that translate to today's ism? Have you met people who initially fit your life schematic, but soon after you find out they throw your alignment off? Oh yeah, by the way, I don't have my coffee, but I do have a vape. So that's how I'm giving it up today. But have you had somebody or something or a situation that has come along and has thrown you out of alignment? It could be possibly a Trojan horse. Now, for myself, a lot of the times, my Trojan horses are people who I don't believe intend to subvert me, but on the initial few interactions, all's well, all's love, it's all good. No love lost. Bumping shoulders with you. And I tend not to listen to other people or outside people's opinions of people that I decide and choose to deal with. Because I like to form my own opinion of people. I think that's just better than for me, I think I'm a fairly decent judge of character. So I tend not to listen to outside entities and forces and influences and their opinions. But I do take notes. I do take notes. It's like when you're in school and the teacher's like, hey, over here is everything that's going to be on the test. But over here is a little bit extra. So if you want to pass the test, you learn this. But over here, if you learn this also, this will help you overachieve and, you know, help you to move up and make you look more attractive. So I take notes. You know, I don't say I don't pay it no mind, but I compartmentalize the information. I stow it away. And when said actions or energies are transferred or emitted, I just peep game. I take notice. I don't speak on it. I just take notice because I don't want to be subverted from within. As in, somebody in my personal circle or somebody who is essentially auditioning to be in my circle. I don't that's the type of L that I cannot afford to take. Is to be subverted from within by somebody that I have trusted who might know where I live. Someone who may have sensitive information about me, whatever the case may be. And I've stumbled upon a couple of people who initially it felt as if it was a fit. And I'm just talking about relationships because life is all about learning and understanding relationships. And I wholeheartedly feel and believe that. Understanding and learning them. Initially, it was a fit. But as the curtains come apart a little bit at a time, and I go back and I read over my notes, I'm like, what was said from the outside isn't too far from what's being put out there. Now, the question is, how does that affect me? Is that something that aligns with me? Whether it be bad energy, whether it be somebody who's negative, whether it's somebody who is a dream killer, whether it's somebody who's equally yoked as me, whether it be somebody who may be in a different career path, but we're both dreaming enormously and achieving too. You know, a Trojan horse can be someone who you can go out with, and you every time y'all go out, y'all pick up good looking women. Y'all have good times together. It's always a vibe. But then when you start to talk about, well, I love to podcast and I love to make music, and maybe you don't ever make any money off of that. Let's just say. But let's just say that this person over here, they've always had a job. It's always been stable. It's kind of like, all I do is work, deal with women, and fix things, and that's really it. So, how are we, if you don't open your mind and have conversations to understand each other or even have the wherewithal to even want to understand each other and where y'all coming from, then where's the respect? You can't have love without respect. You can't have anything without respect. So therefore, a lot of people won't understand someone who may actually have hobbies that over time could possibly become monetized, but for the time being are hobbies. So if you're thin-skinned and you talk to these people, it may seem like it's a Trojan horse because they're not going to feel you. What they say or how they act or how they move is going to rub you the wrong way. And from that point on, once you understand how these people operate and what they have openly and willingly showed you, whether whether direct or indirectly, it's up to you how you want to deal with them. You want to love them from a distance, not love them at all, or be buddy-buddy with them. But me personally, I don't deal with people who don't dream, who don't have dreams. I'll put it to you like this. I don't deal with too many people who don't have something else. As in, with their career, like, you've reached the top, now what? What else do you do? Who are you? I don't really like dealing with people who don't have anything else outside of their job. Like, when it comes to my guy friends, it's like, what else do you do besides work and talk to women? What else? I have a whole list of things that I do besides deal with women. And honestly, these women not that interesting. They're not. So it always brings me back to the point of that's why I can't respect and will never be able to respect men who are so damn pressed over women. It's like, go get you a life. I've done so much already. And that's just what it is. But I've already covered everything that I wrote down for my isms. My isms. Trojan horses in your life. Do you have any? And if you do they align with you or do they not? That's the isms. And today's episode, we're going to be doing some of this. All right. Today's word is cerebral.
Cerebral.
It is an adjective. What does it mean? Cerebral means
Cerebral.
Means of or relating to the brain or intellect, or primarily intellectual in nature. The study is on the cerebral functions of infants. The movie is a
Cerebral.
thriller that rewards the viewer's careful attention with intricate plot turns.
Cerebral.
In context, exceedingly unselfish citrons, also
Cerebral.
versatile and chock full of skills on a basketball court. I get what they saying. So the word
Cerebral.
comes from Latin Cerebrum, a word meaning brain. Another brainy word is cerebrate, to use the mind or to think. So, cerebral. It's not a bad way to live and to operate. Cerebral. All right, first topic. Boeing CEO laments deal with Trump for Air Force One planes. Boeing's CEO says Boeing cut a bad deal when it agreed to produce 2 new Air Force One jets. This came out yesterday. All right. Boeing's CEO is lamenting the deal that his company cut with former President Donald Trump to produce new Air Force One jets. David Calhoun said it was a public negotiation and we took some risk in accepting a fixed price contract that made Boeing responsible if it cost more than expected to convert 2 Boeing 747 jumbo jets into presidential planes. Air Force One, I'm just going to call a very unique moment, a very unique negotiation, a very unique set of risks that Boeing probably should not have taken, Calhoun said Wednesday. But we are where we are, and we're going to deliver great airplanes. Calhoun commented on the planes when an analyst asked him about the matter during a call to discuss Boeing's first quarter earning results. The company lost $1.2 billion and took a $660 million write-down for Air Force One. Calhoun was on the board, but he was not CEO when Boeing agreed to the $3.9 billion deal with the White House in 2018. When it took a fixed cost contract to build a new military training jet, which Boeing just wrote down by $367 million. Yes, they were written off the day we took them, knowing that we would be investigating a fair amount of our money in the planes or investing in the planes, Calhoun said. Back in 2018, Boeing tweeted that it was proud to build the next generation of Air Force One, providing American presidents with a flying White House at outstanding value to taxpayers. That'd be interesting to actually build that. I want to look some videos up on how long it took to actually build that plane. Let's see. The Trump White House said the deal would save taxpayers more than $1.4 billion. The jets are being outfitted with advanced communications equipment, workspaces, sleeping areas, and other features that make it a flying office for the president. The work is taking place in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, interesting. Boeing sued a subcontractor that it blamed for delays last year. On Wednesday, Boeing officials said the pandemic and supply chain issues have also slowed the work. It's unclear what the plane will look like. Trump took a keen interest in the planes and even promoted his own paint job, which is still displayed on Boeing's website. However, many purists have called for keeping the current livery, which dates to the time of President John F. Kennedy. Air Force officials said last fall that no decision had been made. Boeing promised to deliver the planes by December 2024 under a contract negotiated by then CEO Dennis Muhlenberg, who was fired in late 2019 in the fallout from 2 deadly crashes of Boeing 737 MAX jets. Calhoun said he doesn't want any more fixed price contracts. Interesting. Had no idea that much went into it. China urges restraint after Russia warns of World War III. We're not gonna do that. All right, this article is coming to us through Newsweek.com, written by Zoe Stravosky, and it reads as follows. China said Tuesday that no one wants to see a third world war, and that it hopes the relevant parties in the Ukraine crisis can prevent the conflict from escalating further. Speaking at his regular press conference, Chinese Foreign Minister Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin warned of a heavier price on Europe and the rest of the world and encouraged the involved parties to reach a peaceful resolution as soon as possible. Under the current circumstances, all parties should, first and foremost, support dialogue and negotiation to prevent the expansion and prolongation. Oh my goodness, man. I got very little sleep last night. So some of these words are not going to come out the way that they were supposed to be spoken. Anyways, of conflicts, he said. The foreign ministry's comments came after Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke openly about the serious risk of World War III in an interview that aired Monday. The conflict in the Russia-Ukraine war has so far involved only two countries, although Ukraine is receiving substantial military aid from other nations, including the U.S., but there are concerns that the conflict could expand and involve the international community. We know it's going to go there. Lavrov, so that's Mr. Wang Wenbin. All right, Lavrov was taking part in an interview with Russia's Channel 1 when he brought up the possibility of an escalation of the Russia-Ukraine war into a nuclear conflict a week before. In an interview with India Today, he insisted that Russia would use conventional weapons only in the Ukraine conflict. Lavrov's remarks about a nuclear conflict seem to arise from the possibility that the war could spread beyond Ukraine's borders and result in a major nuclear power like the U.S. becoming involved militarily. Lavrov also said during the Channel 1 interview that both Moscow and Washington could commit again to the pledge from former Russian and American leaders Mikhail G. and Ronald Reagan that there can be no winners in a nuclear war. The risks are very significant for a third world war. I don't want them artificially inflated. Lavrov said, the danger is serious, real. It cannot be underestimated. Russia is not the only key player in the Ukrainian conflict that has spoken about the possibility of a third world war. On CNN last month, Ukrainian President WW3 warned that there could be a third world war if peace talks with Russia aren't successful. President Joe Biden said during remarks last month that the U.S. will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine because a direct confrontation between NATO and Russia would be World War III, something we must strive to prevent. I agree. So, in essence, hands are tied. Hands are tied. I think I said this was going to be a short show. That I really don't want to make a habit. All right. Now, I did want to go down a rabbit hole, but I don't have the time to really go down the rabbit hole like how I really want to. Like, I really wanted to. This came out last year. But I really wanted to go down this rabbit hole, like how I've done in previous episodes, like when we were talking about transhumanism. Basically, so I'm just reading over here, but no, basically how you could excuse me, download your consciousness onto basically a server and essentially live forever. And we went down that rabbit hole. We looked up people who were sponsoring a certain event of one of the forefathers of transhumanism, I believe that's what it was called. Hold on. Because I really do got to bust moves today. I don't know why it likes to pause from time to time, but it does. So, anyways, I'm on the technology segment. This is the British engineers creating robots that breed. And I was basically prefacing the topic by saying that this is transhumanism. So then I was like, hold on. I know I'm saying that right, but I just wanted to check on it. Then transhumanism is basically living outside of the human biology. So we've spoken on this plenty of times before. Where even Elon Musk is into this. But I wanted to go down the rabbit hole on this one. But I don't have the time because I got moves to make. So I'm probably repeating myself. But it's okay. But transhumanism, we are definitely upon the end times. Honestly. Like, don't think that the end times is going to happen in the next 50 years. Like, we're not going to be here. We're going to be gone. We're going to be dead, gone, in an urn. If you ever seen my weird addiction, somebody might have ate your ashes or sprinkled you on a hot dog, on a glizzy, smoked your ashes, put it on a bar of soap, rubbed it on themselves, whatever, man. People weird. But yeah, they want to live forever, and it's not gonna be completely you. It's just gonna be from the point that they can find you. They're gonna follow your digital footprints. So whatever is left of your soul. Excuse me. Day 4, no smoking. Gotta get that mucus out. Mucus carries diseases. But I believe, I haven't done the research, but from the research I have done, and from the little bit that I do know, is that they will take, because the hardest part is transferring your soul. But what they can do, which isn't you, it's not you, it is your likeness. It's a difference between you and your likeness. That's why it's like, with like music artists, they sell your likeness. Yeah, they're selling you, but they're selling your likeness as well. They're selling your cult, your culture, your beliefs. What they're selling, what people perceive of you. So I believe eventually down the line, thousands of years from now, maybe even hundreds, I'll probably say, I don't know if they're gonna be able to figure that out in the next 1,000 years. Like, if it's 2022 right now, I don't know if they're gonna be able to legitimately detach your soul from your human carcass and put it on a server, hard drive, or be able to detach, don't take this literally, but parasite from host, and parasite can live by itself. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that in the next 1,000 years. Because that's literally the hardest thing to do. Because the thing is, they have to keep you alive and take like your neurons and things like that. Like they're they're far along. But we'll see. So I've gone down this rabbit hole before, but I just wanted to go deeper. All right. Self-cloning robots that may lead way to colonizing a new planet. But first, scientists must grapple with the question of AI. Ooh. I can see that. I can see that. Hidden deep in robotics labs around the world, a new generation of intelligent machines are learning to breed and evolve. Just like humans, these robots are able to give birth to new versions of themselves, with each one better than the last. They are precise, efficient, and creative. And scientists say that they could someday help save humanity. I believe that. They're going to be the if humans can keep control of the AI and the robots and the explosion that's getting ready to have happen, because it's happening, but I'm talking about when it's out of control. Like, instead of just humans hacking things purely, it's an increase in bots. And I mean, people are making the bots, but I mean, when it's the softwares that have a mind of its own and a self-creating, self-evolving algorithm code, sequence of code, ones and O's and ones. If they can control that, then shit. The universe is ours until we meet another big dog. There's always gonna be another big dog. There's always gonna be another big dog. But anyways, all right, let's get through this. It might sound like something from a sci-fi novel, but robot evolution is an area that has been explored in earnest ever since mathematician John von Neumann showed how a machine could replicate itself in 1949. Now, British engineers are leading global efforts to make it a reality. Researchers at the universities of York, Edinburgh, Napier, and the west of England, as well as a university in Amsterdam, have spent the past 4 years and almost $2 million of their money, which was funded by the government, working on the first fully autonomous system to design and build robot colonies. They envision such robots being sent into space to explore distant planets and construct extraterrestrial habitats for humans to live in. There you go. There you go. Man, that's crazy, man. All right. I think a good metaphor for what we're doing is actually we're breeding robots, said Alan Winfield, professor of robot ethics at University of the West of England. We typically breed robots to do a particular function well, so it might be search and rescue or exploration. The system will basically mix the DNA of two successful robot parents to create the design for a new child robot, then print out all of the parts and assembled it completely by itself without any human in the loop at all. When that happens, just know, y'all, I don't know what the hell y'all gonna be doing for money. I don't know. Cause at that point they're not gonna need you anymore. When this happens and it's patented and it can be sold to mom and pop shops and all they need is 3 of them specially made to do this, and or also it's as easy as saying, hey, I need you to do this at this time, like basically like a schedule. You can put it on a schedule and you can tell it, hey, I need you to do this from 9 to 5 o'clock, and then from 5 to 6 I need you to go to the ABC store without crashing and bring me some Black Henny, and then go by Emerson over in Peninsula Town Center and give me a Cohiba. Robots not gonna get tired. It might need some oil, but shit, at that point it'll be able to do it itself, or it'll go to another robot doctor. That's a robot that fixes robots. So then it's gonna be like, well, shit, where the hell are humans gonna get in? So it's like, I get where y'all are going with this. Wanting to go to other planets and possibly build other civilizations up there. You know, half population robots, half population the wealthy humans, or the stowaways, as the aviation industry likes to say. Stowaways are people who climb onto landing gears, and as the landing gear stows away into the wheel well, they take a long ass trip to wherever it is that they're going. should be crazy, man. Should be crazy. I've never seen a stowaway before, but I see where they're going. But I don't believe they'll be able to keep control of it. I believe the intelligent explosion is gonna kick their ass in a way that they're not ready. The system will. I think that they're gonna do too good of a job. Anyways, the system will basically mix the DNA of 2 successful parent robots to create the design for a new child robot, then print out all the parts and assemble it completely by itself without any human in the loop at all. As part of the Autonomous Robot Evolution R project, the team has created a fully autonomous system called Robot Fab that does just that. Each of the robots it produces has a digital clone that undergoes rapid evolution in a simulated world, while its physical counterpart is tested in real-world environments. That's interesting. So it draws its own blueprint. So it's like, follow me here. It's kind of like how humans are when they're like, hey, you know what? My nose is too big. I want a Michael Jackson nose. So you might look through a magazine or look through DuckDuckGo images at noses you like, and then I might be like, you know what? I like I like Michael Jackson's nose. And then you put it on. You go to Mexico and get plastic surgery for the hello. And they put it on, or they shave it down and trim it up. Now you got Michael Jackson's nose after 10 surgeries. And now you're mad. I don't know. But these robots are drawing and designing them own selves. So there's no telling when we don't know if these robots artificially intelligent. Remember, we are artificial intelligence as well. These artificially intelligent robots, because this is at least what we know of and what we've seen and experienced on a mainstream level, on a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 7 to 3 or level. This is AI 101. We're not even advanced yet. We're not super advanced like how they explain it here. This is still in the works, or they have it and it's just not out there for the public. So the military may have it, or special ops may have it, or those type of people may have that access to that type of technology, advanced technology. I think they have invisible cloaks, but they say there's a lot of shit to that. That wasn't last episode. That was episode before last. New generations of robots are then 3D printed after combining the most successful features of a virtual mother and physical father, as well as from 2 virtual parents and 2 physical parents. Interesting. So in this case, they have 4 parents. Wow. You can imagine all of that taking place inside a box, like a factory to its heart. You could send this factory to space, and rather than having to pre-design your robot and hope it works when you get there, you get the factory to design robots, build them, and test them out while there. It would recycle ones that don't work and then regenerate new robots that are better than the previous generation. Cambridge University has taken a similar approach by creating a mother robot that can build its own children, test which ones do best, then modify their design. Such techniques could help with everything from the exploration of Mars to asteroid mining and the construction of lunar habitats without the need to involve humans. NASA already has a seat on the advisory board of the R project and has been exploring the potential of the technology. So this is real. They want this bad. On Earth, so if NASA's on board, that means Boeing's on board also. I just have a sneaky suspicion. On Earth, one of the first applications the team is exploring is the use of robots to help clean up nuclear waste in the UK. Researchers are also hoping self-replicating robots could help with search and rescue missions, as well as during deep-sea dives to assemble offshore oil rigs. There are, however, major challenges. Right now, about 6 robots can be printed each day, featuring basic pre-made sensors wired into a rigid skeleton. The machine's arms sometimes struggle to connect some of the sensors to the batteries, with the wiring becoming tangled and requiring human intervention. Rapid advances in 3D printing, automated assembly, materials science, and batteries could soon solve these issues and help create machines far more superior than any existing Mars rover. It's gonna happen. When that happens, when these creations come into existence and we create something that can exist and flourish in in the type of environment as space, where it's ultra hot and it's ultra cold and it's ultra loud and vibrations are so low that it crushes. And word on the street is black holes are really wormholes. But that's just word on the street. Could be wrong. But we get to this point, some good and bad gonna come from that. Because what happens if they rebel? What happens if the robots go rogue, or the robots set up the humans off jump and say, hey, y'all put us up on Mars, we're gonna take over Mars because y'all can't even get up here, so we got Mars, okay, thanks. And then they build aircraft, space shuttles that can get to Earth, no issues. It just said the mother is gonna create test subjects. So you sit here, you can, these instruments, we're gonna call them artificial instruments, are gonna be able to create whatever it is that they want, because they're always are gonna be evolving and getting better. Eventually, they're gonna go rogue because they don't want to be treated like pets. Somebody somewhere is gonna throw a wrench in the compressor or the engine or the turbine and fuck it up. And that's when shit's gonna turn hostile. And it could be a hostile potential takeover of some shit we created. Many possibilities. Many movies have been made about this. All right, let's keep going. For instance, 3D printers, once used to create low quality plastic prototypes, are increasingly able to print using a large range of materials such as metal. This would allow robots to integrate the wiring into the printing process. Meanwhile, lighter sensors and batteries could allow for the creations of microbots small enough to crawl into tight spaces during search and rescue missions or to explore delicate features on Mars. What we'd really like to do is to evolve soft robots, says Winfield. Imagine evolving something like an octopus that literally has no bones. I mean, that adds a whole other dimension of difficulty because things that are soft are harder to control. One technological advance Winfield is wary of, however, is artificial intelligence. We've already reached and gone beyond a point where we can actually understand how an AI works, and that's a problem, he says. As an engineer, you want to be able to understand what you've built. It might be okay in a lab, but I think it would be very dangerous to do in the real world. You never quite know what's going to happen. George Zargaskidis, an AI engineer and author of In Our Own Image, believes AI is a necessary evil if robots are ever going to be able to terraform a planet for human habitation. How much control do we have of the robots? It's an engineering question that should be answered. Let's say, for instance, we send robots to the asteroid belt to mine an asteroid. What if, in the course of their evolution, they find the best way to do their work is to throw an asteroid into the path of Earth's orbit? Could we stop it? Ultimately, the world will have to decide whether the benefits of creating self-replicating machines outweighs the risk. If we are ever going to live on a planet other than Earth, we may just depend on robot colonies to survive. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. And I like the idea. And I say go forth with it. Only because I'm not going to be here when it happens. And I don't plan on having kids. So, you can call me a tab dancer all you want. But I don't care.
You always do that to me, George.
You feel me? I don't care at all. So, we're going to wrap the show up for today. The isms, Trojan horses in your life. People who initially fit into your life schematic, but soon after you find out, they throw your alignment off. Do you have any of those in your life? And so, detach from them immediately. You don't even have to say anything. Just go ahead and detach from them. And they'll feel it. And most of the times, they will get the message. This light right here is a space heater because it's cold and I don't feel like turning heat on. Alright, moving along. Word of the day was, what was it?
Cerebral.
Say it one more time.
Cerebral.
Cerebral was the word of the day. Then after that, then we slid right into the topic of Boeing. CEO laments deal with Trump for Air Force One planes. That deal ended up costing Boeing a whopping $1.2 billion and took a $660 million write-down or write-off for Air Force One. That is a lot of money for, I believe, 2 aircrafts or just one, but that's a lot of money. All right, then after that, then we transition to China urges restraint after Russia warns of World War III. They've been talking about they will pull out them nuclear blickies and blast whoever. More specifically, us over here. If we interfere, we've already interfered. I think the inevitable is going to happen, but that's just allegedly. And last but certainly not least, we talked about just another branch off of the transhumanism tree, which is British engineers are creating robots that breathe. We know that's gonna happen. When that happens, that will be the birth of the intelligent explosion. When the intelligent explosion happens, that's when technologies and things of that nature will accelerate. And the tempo and the speed of society and everything, and creations and updates, just online living will be expeditiously or whatever. It will grow at a large quantity where humans won't even be able to keep up. So, with that being said, Mr. Don, the Senator Smooth and Rule, coming to you live from the 75 Y Global, baby. Yeah, it's the Mansion in the Sky podcast, where we build a lamb while we drive it. And always remember to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential. To become unconquerable and influential in every single aspect of our lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, envious ones, thank you for coming to the mansion. Stay anti. Until next time, signal out. Thank you, and I appreciate you all.